Driving along the old country roads of the Ottawa Valley, we find beautiful landscapes highlighted by the splendid fields and farms that make this place so special. Every farm and every field has a story to tell about the history, the families, and perhaps even the future. At first glance, it may look as though little has changed over the years. The fields are still productive and the cows and sheep are still grazing the grasses. Yet something has changed. Small-scale farming is no longer a viable option for most young families. And many of the fields we see today are being leased to large-scale farming operations in an effort to meet the demands of a growing population. This trend has been in the making for several decades now, and the final generation of small-scale farmers are either in their 80s and 90s or have since left this world behind. This is my personal tribute to the late Gord and his loving widow Verla, a husband and wife team from Beachburg, Ontario, who are among this final generation of small-scale farmers in the valley. I first met Gord in January 2006, when he was taking part in an old-time logging demonstration at Jack Brennan's farm in Sheenborough, Quebec. At 81 years of age, he was still in great shape as a semi-retired farmer. We met in Brennan's home that day, and I still remember Gord standing tall and proud as part of the crew when we were first introduced. As I shook his massive hand and briefly made eye contact with him, my initial impression was that of a man of confidence and composure. Having worked in the bush as a young man felling trees and skidding logs with the team, he was the perfect choice to take part in the demonstration that day. It was also fitting that he had worked as a teamster for Jack Brennan's father on occasion. As the day progressed and I continued filming the operation, I began to see another side of Gord. Yes, his confidence and calmness were obvious, but he also demonstrated a courtesy towards others that I found extraordinary.
I thought alcohol wasn't allowed in the camp.
No sawing now.
I thought alcohol wasn't allowed in the camp.
Well, it seems
When we finally met up for a short interview at the end of the day, my impressions of this man were unmistakable. He was a gentleman, modest, and very likable.
Well, a teamster, I guess, other than the cook, I guess the cook got up first. But other than that, anybody that was driving horses were the next to get up. They had to get up in time to have their horses fed and give the horses time to eat before they had to go to work, eh? No, I guess of any job I really enjoyed driving horses most of any, eh? And as I say, I put in most winters driving horses. I think they generally expected you to skid 100 logs in a day, eh? Of course, all the skidder had to do was to skid the logs out of the bush. You had a man cutting trails that you could get hooked onto the logs handy, and then you had a roller to roll them onto the skidway. So your responsibility was just to skid them out of the bush to the skidway. Saturday nights, I guess there was generally some singing and step dancing, maybe some music.
till 10 o'clock.
Till 10 o'clock Saturday night, possibly. Other than Saturday night, the lights generally went out at 9 o'clock.
So it was common to see men doing what after supper?
Generally went to the stable and maybe cleaned up your horses a bit after supper, so that took up a bit of your evening. But a lot of the fellas that weren't involved with horses, they played cards all right, yes.
Did you have to work Sunday?
Sunday? No, you work 6 days a week, eh? Sunday, all you had to do, if you were driving horses, you had your horses to look after on Sunday, eh? So,
That's when you did your laundry.
yes, I guess that was any mending you had to do, you done that on Sunday.
Okay, hold on. Yeah.
After the interview, he invited me to visit him and his wife Verla in Beechburg in the days ahead. This was the start of a long friendship that I will forever cherish. Gord and Verla grew up as neighbors on their respective family farms in Beechburg. Both were of Irish descent with roots in the valley that date back several generations. And like other children of farming families, they learned at an early age the realities of chores and responsibilities. They learned the importance of family values, the results of hard work, and how to be gracious and courteous towards others. What was it like growing up on a farm? You had your chores.
Oh yes, yeah, you always had chores.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't very old when I started milking a cow.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
By hand or?
Oh, by hand. Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Well, we milked by hand till 49, fall of 49.
Wow.
Yeah. I was about 17 when we got hydro at our place.
17. What year was that?
49.
You got hydro in 49?
Yeah. Fall of 49.
So that was the same year that you started milking with
Well, when we got hydro, we got a milking machine.
milking machine.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's right. That was one of the first things that they got. Yeah. Yeah.
That would have been a good thing.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, we like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So how many years did you actually have to milk by hand yourself?
Oh well, I started milking when I was 7 or 8, I guess, and I
Really?
was 17 when.
10 years
Yeah.
milking by hand.
Yeah. Well, I just had a brother.
You had
in
a
my
brother?
Family. Yeah. But he started as soon as as soon as he was old enough too. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you
Yeah. The
have
fall before we got the hydro, my dad and mother went away. I was 16. He was 13. We milked 17 cows for the weekend while they were away for 4 days, and we milked that many cows. And he went to
2 times
school.
a day?
Yeah. We had to get up and do it in the morning before he went to school. And my aunt and uncle stayed with us, but they had to go home and milk their own cows, so they went home. They got us up and they went home to milk, and we milked. The milk truck was there at 7 o'clock in the morning to pick the milk up, so we had to have it out by then. So at that time we were just shipping milk. First number of years they shipped cream, but
Oh, I see.
so there you had to put it through the separator and separate the cream from the milk, and you fed the milk to the calves and the cream you saved, and it went out twice a week or once a week, depending.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
The truck came and picked up.
Yeah. And you had a little, did you have a little shack where you did the separating, where the machinery was in there?
Yeah, we had what they called a milk pump house, or pump. We had a gas pump on our water pump
Oh.
to pump the water for them cattle to drink,
Uh-huh.
and we had our separator in that little. In the winter time, the separator come into the house, to the kitchen.
Oh, really?
Too cold out there in the winter, so
Uh-huh.
yeah.
What other chores did you have to do?
I didn't, as a girl, I didn't do that many other chores, not in the winter. In the summer I did more, but then in summer there's mostly just the milking, and then you worked out in the fields. And,
Did you work in the fields yourself?
oh yeah, I worked in the fields at home, and after I was married too.
Slugging the hay?
Well, I threw a lot of bales.
You did?
Yes. Yeah, we worked with my brother, and we did all the unloading, Gordon and his wife and I did all the unloading, and after they got the baler, after we got a new baler, Verla, my brother, the baler, so we worked together.
Yeah. You had workhorses?
Yes, we had, yeah.
Workhorses. When did your dad, when did he get his first tractor?
1946, he got his first tractor.
Yeah, you were just a little...
Oh well, I was running the tractor anyway. No, I was 14 when he
You were 14?
Yeah, I was 14 when I got the first tractor.
Okay.
Up until that, we did, I drove horses on the hay wagon and
Did you
seeding.
do the Teamster thing as well? You?
Yeah, I drove on the wagon quite a bit. Oh yeah, for a while before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drove for low and I raked too. And
You raked with the horses?
yeah, I did after I was married too.
Really?
Yeah.
With the horses? Why would you do that if you have the machinery?
Well, we just had one tractor, I guess, and we didn't have the right machinery for it. We were still using the horses for hay and for cutting and raking and
Really?
yeah. We used he loaded with the hay loader in the first few years we were married. We were married for 5 years before we started using the baler.
Oh.
Then we started working with my brother, you see.
In 1947, Gord set out on his own to operate a farm just down the road from the one he grew up on.
But I moved on to our own, the place I showed you there today, in spring of 47, I guess. So I worked it on my own,
Oh, I see.
And I ploughed with the horses there till we got the tractor and plough in 1950.
After years of courtship, Gord and Verla took their vows in 1952, thus beginning their lifelong commitment to each other. As with any young couple, keeping food on the table would be their primary measure of success. It wasn't about the clothes they wore, or the silver cutlery in the hatch. A reliable plow and a healthy team of patrons or a good tractor were far more important than the finer luxuries on a farm. Some of the old photos in this presentation are quite fascinating, and most were shot by Verla herself with the old Kodak box camera back in the day. When you shifted from plowing with horses to using the tractor, was that like a relief to you, or?
Oh, I guess it would be a relief. Like I was working out at the same time, and when we got the tractor, ploughed with the tractor, give you more time to work out,
Yeah.
Like when you were doing your ploughing and all the work with the horses, you didn't have much spare time,
No.
To work out or
Do odd jobs
do
elsewhere.
jobs. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
What kind of odd jobs would you do?
I drove a truck here for the cattle buyer in Beechford for, I guess I started the fall of 46, I guess, and I drove for him till, I drove for him the first year we were married, It'll be 6 years, I guess. But that was spare time. I mean, my work at home come first, but if I was available, I drove this cattle truck for this drover, this cattle buyer, yeah.
What was your main source of income when you were younger farmers?
Well, the fall, after we were married, we went into this PMU business, so I guess that would be we were kind of lucky to get into it it helped the income for a few years, all right.
PMU?
Yeah. Pregnant mare's urine.
And what was that about?
Well, the mares had to be in foal, and then you collected the urine. They put a harness on them, so you collected the urine, and it was shipped to Montreal. Gordon drove the truck, took it to Orleans, and then it was picked up there and taken to Montreal. So that had to be taken down to sometimes 2 times a week or 3 times a week. He had to go there.
And what was that for?
To take the urine, the barrels of urine down that we had collected. So it was harness on the mares with tubes on them. And so
Right. But what was the purpose?
It was for women's medicine. I think maybe pregnant women's medicine.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so that was your main source of income?
It was.
For how
We
many?
had some chickens, we had some beef cattle, and
Yeah.
we had some laying hens the first few years, and then we did away with our hen house and put horses in it. We had smaller horses that were in for the winter on the on the urine line, and we put them into our hen house. We figured there was more money in them than the hens. So,
Yeah.
and,
And you traded horses as well?
Oh, not a lot. Occasionally, I guess. We used to sell some spare horses, you know. Raise some colts and raise them up and sell them. And of course, we sold some colts just at 6 months old too. Then we raised some up mature and broke them and sold them then.
You had mentioned about going with your stallion, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
And what was that all about?
Well, you see, we went around, we bred the mares for these farmers, and we charged a little fee. I think at that time we charged $10 at the time, and another $5 if they proved in foal, eh? And some of the farmers that were using these mares, some in the summer, didn't need them in the winter, so we could get a lot of them for the winter, eh? And any of them that we got for the winter, I give them back their breeding fee.
Oh.
And it also helped in some cases, some farmers that wanted their horses in the winter, maybe if we had mares not in foal, I could replace their mares with some that we had not in foal, eh? You see, so maybe if, say, a farmer was working in the bush, well, maybe he'd just as soon not be working a mare in foal, carrying a colt, eh?
Yes.
So he'd take one from us that wasn't in foal and give us his.
You'd make the trade.
We'd make the trade, yeah.
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 we used to go on and have the cutter. Yeah, we travelled all the time. So we went over to my grandparents, and we'd go a couple of times a winter up to my other set of grandparents, which was about an 10 mile drive with horse and cutter. We'd go up for dinner and have supper and come home again. We'd heat up a couple of bricks, or we used those sad irons. We'd heat them and put them in the bottom of the cutter to warm our feet. And
Oh yeah?
yeah.
So you'd throw a couple of bricks beside the stove and heat them up?
Yeah, I think some people use bricks. We use the what we call the sad iron, so you used to iron with.
Oh.
Put them on the stove and heat them up, and then you'd wrap them in paper, and then a blanket or something, put them at your feet, and they sure help keep you warm. So this is the sad irons that I talked about.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, this, yeah,
What were they used for, actually?
for ironing your clothes.
That was just a
Yeah.
clothing
You
iron.
had three of these bottom irons,
Oh yeah.
and keep them on the top of the wood stove, and
Uh-huh.
and then
And you'd wrap those up with paper.
to put in the cutter. Yeah,
You put in the cutter.
yeah,
Isn't that something, eh?
yeah.
So at the peak of that operation, you had how many horses?
We had 49 on. Was the most we had on one winter.
49, eh? Oh my God. All had to be watered and fed.
Watered and fed three times a day.
3 times a day.
Yeah. And grain and
And like
hay.
you were saying, you didn't have running water. So you had to...
The first few years they had to be carried from the well out in the yard. We didn't have that many on at that time. By the time we had the 49 on, we had it tapped into in front of the horses in the main stable. Now we had to carry to the other stables then. There was
Yeah.
2 other stables we had to carry the pails to, but
Yeah.
we still dipped out of these barrels. So.
But there were times also that you had to go down to the river and get...
Yes, a couple of winters we were so short of water, we had to take milk cans and go down to the river and fill them with water and take the team and sleigh.
Dig a hole in the ice.
Yeah, chop a hole in the ice. Well, at that time we were taking our cattle down to water there too, so we'd chop the hole for them. And then,
Yeah.
The kids and I would, every day we'd go back and let the cattle out, and they'd come down the main road down to the home base and go down to the river and drink.
Wouldn't that be something, eh?
Yeah.
Walking the
They weren't hard to chase down. They weren't hard to chase back either, because they had to get back there to get grass. In the house we got the water piped in just to the sink, just cold water, in about 61. And then we got it plumbing and the hot water heater in the bathroom in 64.
64, right? So up until that point, everything was
pail and your pump the well?
Yes, we had a cistern in the basement for salt water.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, for washing clothes or washing ourselves.
Oh, I see.
But you didn't cook or anything.
So how did that work? You'd go down to the
No, we had a little pump at our sink that you could pump it up from the,
Oh, is that
like
right?
up from the cistern.
Oh, I see. Would that dry up on occasion?
But then, yes, it did. Yeah,
Did-
we
oh.
didn't have a large house, so more eavesdrop you had, the more you got. But of course, then it would run over if we got too much. But yes, and we used to go a few times. We took borrowed a drum tank or something, went to the river and brought water up and put it into our cistern.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally got electricity. What year was that? Do you remember?
Where I was, Mother and Dad's, we got the fall of '48, and down where I lived after we were married, they got it from '49.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And I see in the picture the wood stove in your house. You continued using the wood stove
Oh yes, we used the wood stove for about 81.
till 81? Really?
Yeah. It was 64 before I got an electric stove at all, but I still used the wood stove.
You still use the wood
And
stove
we used it for heat till 81.
for heat until 81. And did you still bake in it and so
Oh yeah.
forth?
Oh yeah.
You did, eh?
Not as much once I got the electric stove. I didn't use it as much, but I still baked some.
Yeah. So that school, you had to get up every morning in the winter or the colder months with your brother and go start the fire in that school.
For a couple of years, yeah. Yeah, for 2 or 3 years, I'm not sure. I think just 2 maybe. But at the time I did it, first year we done it, I was 11 and he was 8. And we went on that school and we just had a big furnace. The first year we just had a big furnace in the basement, and then they put in a box stove up above in the classroom with long pipes, so it helped to warm it too, but you had to fire both places.
Would you do this before breakfast or after breakfast?
Oh, well, we stayed at the school once we went. We got up
Once
and
you-
dressed and had breakfast and then went to the school.
Lit the
And
fire.
I remember one winter, I remember it was a weekend, it was very cold. And Monday morning we left at 7 o'clock to go up to school, went in at 9. We left at 7 o'clock with flashlights. Mother and Dad couldn't see us going to the road, you know. And when we went into the school, it was 40 below in the school.
Oh my goodness.
And so we started pumping the furnace to get it heated, and when the kids came in about 20 to 9 or so, and what's wrong with the firemen? That they didn't get here and get this school warmed up in time. So during the school day you had to go down and replenish it between classes whenever you didn't dare let it go out.
Yeah, and was that normally the task, was that a task that was shared by all the students?
No,
or-
whoever lit the fire did that.
Oh yeah? I noticed...
I
in-
think they give us $5 a month for doing it.
Yeah. I noticed in the picture of Gord at that same school, there's a lady holding a pail, so I guess there were other things you had to take care of as well.
Yes, they had to. There was a pump there they used some, but a lot of the time they had to go down to where we lived and get water there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'd bring it back and put it on a little stand with a washed basin on it, and
Yeah.
it had this pail of water, and everybody had their own cup, and you dipped out of the cup and drank your water.
Was this just like a one-room school? Or
Yeah, 8 grades.
All in one room?
Oh yeah,
And one teacher?
one teacher. Now when we went to school there wasn't that big a group, I think 15 or 16 maybe is the most, but I heard them talking, been up to 30 kids in the school, before
Or
my
before your time?
Yeah. It was built, my dad started the school just when that school was new, and my son was going to it when it burnt down.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Wow. And then they shipped him off, you shipped Barry off to...
They just moved all the kids out to there was an empty room in the Beachbridge school at the time.
I just wanted to pop in and say hello to you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm just finishing up a little interview with her.
Oh, well. Are you important?
Not really.
You never knew that, did you?
Well, yes, I do. No, I want to say.
She's important. Worse.
Come on and sit down. And we're almost done.
Well, I don't want to intrude on you.
No, we're almost done. I got to get
No,
rolling.
he had done a video a few years ago here, DVDs, so he's wanted to add a little to it and all, so. Actually, we were pretty lucky. Oh, there was things that happened, but we were pretty lucky.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything big away. One time we were getting ready to thrash, and we loaded the wagons at the back place on a Thursday night, and we were coming home just at dark with the tractor, and Gord was standing on the back of it, and somebody ran into the back of our tractor, the back wheel, and flipped it over, and he had a broken pelvis, and
Really?
spent about 3 weeks in the hospital.
Is that right?
I would just, well, when everything stopped, I was under the tractor. It was upside down. in
You were
ditch.
under the
I
tractor?
was still in the seat, but I was under the tractor. But the loader was up far enough, it was holding it up a bit, and I was able to wiggle myself out before the loader let us down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I wasn't much the worst of it. I was pretty sore, but
But he broke his pelvis, eh?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he was in traction for 2 weeks in the hospital, another week there before he got home, and a few trips back in. But.
Did you have any time to play when you were on the farm?
Oh yes, we had time to play. Where I grew up before I moved on to the post road, we had hills there. We used to love to slide on them in the winter, but we had sleighs. We loved to do that. And
Oh yeah.
Dad always made a rink out in the front yard, and we'd skate on it. And he'd carry water and make a rink out in the front yard. His brothers and sisters and neighbours, they used to come over there and skate at night with lanterns, and I loved skating. We started by going to dances in Westmeath. That was our first couple of dates. Between that and ball games at the school, because that was actually our first date. He brought me home from a ball game at the school.
Is that right?
Yeah. And then a couple of weeks later, he asked me to go to the dance at Westmeath. So that's what we did the most that summer, and then we started going to the shows. In the winter time we were going together, and then we went to skate. Gord wasn't into skate a lot, but we started chumming with this couple that they loved to skate too. So he got started, he liked going too then. This Matt Coughlin, they've been buddies.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the other couple that we went skating with.
What was the entertainment for Barry and Brent growing up on the farm?
Well, I don't know. Maybe working was the biggest entertainment.
Yeah.
Now they played ball, they always played ball. They had ponies. Barry was only 5 when we got the first pony. He wanted the pony awful bad.
Did they play in the barns or?
Oh yes, yeah, they definitely would play in the barns, that's right. Actually in the summertime we used to take them every Sunday practically up to the river, up to what they call Moores Beach. It was a good swimming place there. Unless we were going somewhere to visit or have visitors coming. Yeah, Barry was about 8, he started to play hockey, and Brent started when he was 6, so.
Yeah.
But we used to bring them before that to the rink in Beachbrook on Saturday nights to skate. I usually stayed and skated too. So.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Gord and Verla finally retired from full-time farming in the year 2000. Gord was 75 at the time, but it would be another decade or so before he finally hung up the boots for good. Their 2 sons had taken over the farming properties, but they had found meaningful work in other careers. Today, Barry's son Derek does a bit of farming on the side at his father's place, and Brent tends to a few chores of his own on the old farm on a part-time basis.
I'm gonna sing you a brand new song. She's a dandy, sure as you're born. All these things just running in a rhyme. Things all right considering these times, but all I got's gone. All I got's gone.
Yeah, I think the baler was early 60s.
Yeah, I think Dad bought this in late 60s,
Is that right, eh?
and it was used at that time.
Yeah. It's still working good?
Up to 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it generally works good.
Of course, we got Mr. Fix-It here, so everything should go well.
Yeah.
Whole lot of people on nice little farms doing pretty well, didn't do no harm. Stole their farm, but an auto too. Notes come due, they had to skidoo. All they got's gone, all they got's gone. Whole lot of people bought automobiles, didn't know how they was gonna feel. Rolled around grand and proud, notes come due, couldn't pay it out. All they got's gone, all they got's gone.
For many years, this is how the haying was done. The old tractors and a simple baler that made rectangular bales. Man and his machine, but not without the manual labor. It was difficult for farmers to find hired hands to throw the bales, and more often than not, the ladies of the family took part in the harvesting operations, along with their brothers, husbands, and fathers.
So, just want to introduce the viewers to one of Verla and Gord's sons, which is Brent. He's the youngest.
The baby of the family.
Yeah. And Brent, so I notice you have some, you still have some animals on the farm?
Oh yeah. It's pretty hard to make a living on a small farm now, so it's just a hobby for me. And of course, because of Dad, I have horse in my blood, so I've got, I think 16 or 17 horses kicking around here now.
Yeah.
Half miniatures, a little bit of everything, so.
You got into the miniatures, yeah.
Yeah. This is one of my stallions here, a Fjord Canadian cross, so.
Wow, that's really beautiful. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So you have fond memories of growing up on the farm, though?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was lots of fun. It was a lot of work at the time, but looking back, it was all good too. So.
Yeah. Can you pick one favorite memory of your time on the farm?
Oh well, anything with the horses, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to the horse shows?
No, just playing with the horses around here. Really.
Playing with the horses.
My first riding horse I got, I rode it. Didn't matter if we come in from haying at 10 o'clock at night. I go for a ride every night that summer.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How old you been?
Oh, I'm maybe 12 at that time
12,
or something.
Yeah.
See our freaking Rottweiler out playing with this lad. He goes in, plays with him all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this is your new little hobby.
That's kind of yeah.
I noticed. I think I saw a picture of you with a wagon, taking kids around in the wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a little wagon. The only problem is I only have singles that I hitch right now. I'd like to get a team going.
Yeah.
Much better in the wagon than singles, but yeah, this guy he's semi-broke. My other two stallions are both well broke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What does it take to break them?
Time and patience.
Oh yeah.
They're pretty easy to break. It's just if you have the time to work with them,
Yeah. I guess it would probably be easier if they were working as a team, eh?
Yeah.
I think your dad once said that if you could take a young one and put it on with
with an older, experienced one.
Experienced one, yeah. And where are the others?
Right out in the field, there's some of them there, and then there's more out in the barnyard here. They all get
geez.
together, but
And I see your, what's that spotted one again?
Appaloosa.
The Appaloosa's out there, eh?
Yeah, there's 6 miniatures out there. The old pony, my daughter's chestnut quarter horse mare there, Appaloosa mare, Fjord Canadian mare, and then I have 2 halflinger geldings. They're in another field. They should be out. They're out with them, but just not right there.
Beautiful.
This is some machinery we bought about 35 years ago when we started farming.
Really?
We've had it that long.
Wow. And does it still operate?
Yes,
It does.
it does.
Really?
Yep.
Is this what you use today to
That's right.
do the baling and stuff?
Yep.
Cut the fields? What is the machine next to the tractor?
It was a rake hooked onto the tractor and then a hay bine sitting next to it here. That's what we use for cutting all the hay. So it cuts it and it'll condition it and put it into a windrow or lay it out flat, whichever you want.
So this is the place where Gord started out as a farmer, single farmer, on his own, and it is now Barry's property. Whereabouts exactly was the homestead, Bear?
Well, there was a log house directly on this side of the machine shed.
Oh yeah.
A little piece.
Is there any evidence of it today?
No, it's all gone.
It's all gone.
Now actually there was, previous to that, there was an old building down not too far from our new house.
Oh, is that right?
And I don't even remember it, but Dad has mentioned a couple of times that there used to be a building down there, and that was a small house at one point. But it was probably taken down in the early 1950s, I think.
You're now in a different career from farming, but it is sort of tied.
It is directly related to agriculture, so.
Yeah. And what is that?
Well, I'm a sales manager for a seed company, so we sell forage seed for farmers.
Yeah. So those are Derek's horses.
That's right.
Gord's grandson. He has to come down to feed the horses
Yes.
and
Yeah,
water. the
usually a
horses.
few chores to do in the winter, not a lot, but
And that's how his day starts every morning in the winter.
pretty well.
And then he
That's
goes to his regular job, eh?
right. Yep.
So this is the sacrifice of a part-time farmer.
That's right. Morning and evening.
Yeah. Yeah. And does he work the horses at all?
He usually he hitches them a few times during the winter and does some sleigh rides just for some family or friends.
Oh, great.
I wasn't in the bush too much. Dad used to cut some cedar posts some winters and for his own use, and
Yeah.
cut some firewood every winter, but I wasn't too involved in that.
No.
Tell you some people that know me would think this is hard to believe, but probably one of my better memories is hitching horses and putting them on the sleigh in the wintertime with Dad.
Is that right, eh?
I'm not a big horse fan, but that was probably one of my better memories.
It sticks out in your mind,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In his retirement, Gord loved to take drives around the country, and he did this often with his friend Mac Coughlin. I was also fortunate enough to go on day trips with Gord on a number of occasions, and this is how I came to learn just how tight-knit the old farming network really was. Gord had known people in all corners of the Ottawa Valley: Mattawa, Bancroft, Fort Glunge, Lanark, Kempville, Cumberland, Hawkesbury, and so forth. As far as he could venture and still get back to his farm before nightfall. If a good deal was to be made, 100 miles would be a small price to pay. Horses, cattle, farm equipment. Farmers would travel many miles for a good deal. In our own travels together, we generally stopped for dinner at some point, and 9 out of 10 times, Gord would order a hearty meal of bacon and eggs and home fries. "Oh, I could eat bacon and eggs every day," he would say, "morning and night. I enjoy a good breakfast." In the 9 years I knew Gord, I never once heard him make a negative comment about anyone. This would be his legacy. A gentleman, in every sense of the term. As I look back on that day we met at Brennan's Mountain, one particular incident stands out in my mind that sheds light on Gord's character. As one of the novice teamsters lost control of his horse, I could see Gord nearby looking on with concern, as was I behind the camera. Always careful not to insult a person, Gord found himself in a rather awkward situation. Intervening to help the poor chap could possibly be viewed as an insult.
Hey, whoa, whoa, back up, Prince, back up, Prince, Jesus Christ.
You want me to help you there?
Oh, back up, Prince.
And finally, as I dropped the camera, Gord did come to the rescue, with no thought for his own safety, never to be mentioned again until now.
Back up, back up, Prince, move. Back up.
If farming was Gord's passion, then skidding logs with a team was a close runner-up. He cherished his days working in the bush as a logger.
Prince,
Step back as you come.
back up, John. Back.
There you are.
Whoa.
There you are.
Ha. Ha, Prince.
Okay.
I come in and get one of these.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if I should go in the front this time. Away? Yeah, just be careful. This is just so cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you stay there. I'm going to take a shot of you there in a minute. They're taking a few days to put this up, eh?
For sure, a lot of planning. A lot of planning went into the structure.
There's an old wooden wheel,
Yeah.
wooden pulley.
It's still upstairs, eh?
Yeah, I gotta go get that.
Want me to go and get it for you?
No.
Eh? I'll go up and get it for you.
Here's another great shot here. With the creek going by, eh, Gord?
Yeah.
Holy Jesus.
They used the horses for draying in some of the logs, and then they had to use them for pulling the slabs out. The slab yard was up to my right here.
Oh yeah.
And the lumber, they took the lumber out on lorries, but they pushed it out by hand. Like this is the old general store. They had a good general store. And you can see the William and Son on the face of it there.
And what's that other building beside the water there?
That's the blacksmith shop.
That was the blacksmith shop.
Down there, that's the blacksmith shop. They done all their own blacksmith work. Right?
Yeah.
Had a man working there all the time.
And beside this building, that's where the bunkhouse was?
Yes, to the right was a bunkhouse. The blacksmith shop to my right here, then a storage shed over further. Looking downstream, you have the burner where they burnt all the sawdust.
The blast came out of the bottom here?
That's the bottom here, yeah. This is the penstock where the water went in through the turbine. And I think there were 2 turbines.
When was the last time you operated it on water?
The mid-60s.
Mid-60s?
Mid-60s, yeah.
Is that right, eh? Yeah. And was it a turbine or?
It was a 30-horse little giant. It was, yes, it was a horizontal turbine.
Horizontal turbine, yeah, yeah. And before that, did you use an overshot wheel on it, or?
They had an enclosed wheel, and it would be probably an earlier version of a little giant.
Oh, really?
That's what I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
I went down and helped my son in the bush there. I had a horse that I broke in. She's still down. He still has it, and I was skidding logs out of the bush with her. But that was about 3 weeks ago. We skidded about, I think it was 2 trailer loads of wood.
Really?
Tractor trailers. And then he had the logs to go. There's still 2 more loads of, well no, there's 2 loads of the logs, and then there was, I think 5 loads of stowwood in the log.
Yeah,
16
yeah.
foot,
And is it common for your horses to come over and take a peek inside here?
Oh yeah, they're very curious.
They're very friendly.
Oh, curious. That's the colt there.
I was thinking that, yeah. Yeah, they're certainly friendly.
She's only 2. She's gonna be a fair size.
Well, she'll be bigger than the mother, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I was wondering that if she would.
The father weighed 2,400. He said, 2,500. But I never seen the father. But I said, yeah, it's a big horse that weighed 2,500.
Yeah, yeah. She'd lose that too, would she, if she's got hard?
Beautiful horses.
Belgium is, they're all right. They're nice. But the Persians are pretty good horses. I had one Persian's horse that would work all day in the bush with no lines.
No lines, eh?
No, he just skidded by himself.
Yeah.
If he gets stuck, he'd go sideways and pull the log out. My son, he works for Carlos and Electric now. He's a linesman, and he used to unhook it. He was only about 8 years old, I guess, and I had to let the horse come down and take it back to the bush.
You could bring him in.
Inquisitive, right? I go to fix fence and you find me all around here.
Yeah.
Want to come in?
Let this one go himself, Neil.
purebred Perchins. I got the papers for those. Do you see anything wrong with that mare? Yeah, she got staked. They got in the barnyard, and I guess one of the other horses put her over the fence, and she got cut. But I actually don't think it's as bad as it was.
While Gord was out roaming the countryside and taking part in horse parades as a retired farmer, Verla began spending more time with her grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and her numerous friends. She also made time for her creative projects. Back on the farm, she had always done some knitting and quilting in her spare time. But in retirement, she also began taking classes in pottery and paper toll in Pembroke. If that wasn't enough, she also joined the church choir.
So why don't you bring us on a tour? Are these part of your creations at all?
Yes, I did all those dolls and the candle holders.
Paper tolls?
Paper toll, yeah. I did a set like that last year. That's one of the last ones I've done.
That was one of the last ones you did, eh?
This might be, I would say, is my favourite of them all.
That's your favorite, eh?
I did it a number of years ago now. But
you made a couple of these.
I made the dolls and the angels.
This one is gorgeous. Very talented. Where is the one you were showing me?
Well, actually, I just brought it here because they're.
Look at that.
I didn't do those two small angels.
Oh, those are really nice.
That angel, Christmas angel, I just done for my two daughters-in-laws last year.
The place is nicely decorated. And as you can see, this is the family wall of fame. Very proud of her family.
But hobbies aside, in all the years I've known Verla, her favorite topic has always been her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. She and her late husband have always been equally proud of each and every one. As a couple, Gord and Verla enjoyed traveling together, making trips to the west coast by car, visiting friends in Sault Ste. Marie and elsewhere. They were best of friends.
Is that where you got it from?
In the years to come, Gord and Verla's family will continue to grow, and the new generations will pass down the stories of old-time farming to their own, in hopes that the legacy will not be forgotten. Many other families throughout the valley do much the same. A history to be proud of.
When you get a home, you roll them around all, swing out to your places all, and roll them a little and roll them a lot.
back from the head to the hall. I right left back from the side of the hall. From the head, two ladies change. The side, two ladies change. And change back from the head to the hall. Change back from the side of the hall. And a half promenade on the head. Half promenade on the side. I right left back from the head to the hall. I right left back to the side. Then all come down to the corners, all and tamarack down to the corner, lady. And turn and swing with your own little doll, and you leave my dear little honey all alone, and swing your own, leave mine alone. All right, 10 round with the girl you swung, and balance to that next little girl. And swing with the girl before you all, and roll them around, pretty good to the floor. All right, 10 round with the girl you swung, and balance to that next little girl. And roll them around with the girdle before you. Roll them a little and roll them a lot. All right, 10 round with the girdle you swung, and balance to that next little girl, and all come down on the old plank floor. And swing with the girl before you all. All right, 10 round with the girdle you swung, and balance all to your own little doll, and all take a dance and a tamarack down on the old white pine. Now you swing your girl, I'll swing mine. Right and left on the head to the hall. Right and left
Like there was a lot of stuff poured out by the hundred from Booth's shed in Kalonji, everything except hay and oats. Pretty well anyway. Now the farmers used to take contracts, maybe Christmas, New Year's time, to deliver so much hay and so much oats to Moose Creek at such a price, eh?
Okay.
Well, if the price around home happened to go up, you still had to, you had your contract signed, you had to fill your contract, eh? But if my memory serves me right, I say there was a lot of stuff delivered by the hundred. And I think the going price around 40 or 41 was 65 cents a hundred to deliver it. And you had to have an awful good team to deliver 40-100.
Wow.
So wouldn't that, if my figures is right, wouldn't that only give you about $27 to deliver a load for a 6-day trip?
Wow.
So the fellows weren't making much money, were they?
No. No.
Well, I think I'm right on those figures. But I got to say, I always enjoyed what I was doing. Whether it was farming or lumber camp or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in your blood.
I have no
regrets.
I have no regrets on anything I ever done, eh?
What a beautiful thought I am thinking concerning a great speckled bird.